Good evening, wizards, and welcome to episode 5 of the Crypto Wizard podcast. Now, little few things I want to touch on in the market first of all before we delve straight into those psychological lessons, which had an amazing feedback last week. So I do believe this is going to be a new strategy for me to actually start implementing more educational lessons both in the Wizard Wednesdays. Instead of just covering loads of altcoins, for example, I will be providing more education in terms of technical analysis or even just overall cryptocurrency knowledge. And the same will apply for the podcast. I believe it's a great platform to start providing more of a psychological and philosophical aid to your overall life, career, or cryptocurrency journey. So I definitely think this is an approach I want to start going down. It's much more fluid for me as well. And I believe it reaches out to more people and helps not only entice people into the crypto market with a more logical thought process, but it also allows you guys to have a more enjoyable, I guess you could say, period in the crypto market, as during the winter crypto period, which many people are saying is over, I do not believe it's over yet, and I will get into that very shortly. But first of all, let's just jump into the BTC dominance and cover a little bit about why BTC has been dropping the past few days and what's going on in the market overall. Again, the news articles is the main thing that's really annoying me right now. I mean, hopefully you guys follow me on Twitter. I did actually tweet, I believe it was 2 days ago or yesterday. That would be a tweet regarding the 2018 articles, which I'll get up right now very quickly. And the tweet stated me basically saying, I've gathered a collection of articles from major media outlets posted in 2018, all showing similarities to what they are now, with the bottom already forming. Because right now the articles are all saying the same thing, and I'm seeing so many saying Bitcoin holding strong over $5,000 as it marks a new bullish week. Bitcoin will top $10,000 in 2019, says Fundstrat's Tom Lee. So, as you can imagine, the articles are progressively getting higher. The Winklevoss brothers, the Bitcoin moguls, they're saying it will reenact the future and the bull should push it back to around $10,000 as well. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Bitcoin price today, key indicator points to $5,900 target. Is pretty much going insane all over again because we've seen a little bit of green in the markets. Now, looking at the BTC dominance after we have seen that significant pullback from around $5,500, we have seen the BTC dominance rise from around 50.5%, even lower than that at some points during the surge, back down to, in one swift movement of around $300, the BTC dominance has jumped back around 2%. So it's pretty insane to see just how much that dominance increases as price reduces, but as price grows, for some reason it is seeming to weaken, which has suggested a potential altcoin surge ahead of the BTC rally, but as of now I do not really see that sustaining for the time being. So what I'm really predicting right now in BTC is we are currently restrained. If you have seen the Wizard Wednesdays, we are currently constraining BTC in $100, $200 and $300 movements, and as of now we are currently restraining in a healthy pullback within another $100 range. So it has been fairly slow in the markets for the past 3 days. We haven't seen much movement, but we are showing signs of more bullish momentum to come, and this is where I do believe that the $5,900 to $6,000 region and beyond can be met in the relative short term. However, in the overall longer term picture, if you have not seen the video that has been dropped in the Telegram covering the market update, please, I suggest you do so as well, as it will help you to gain an overall idea of just how manipulative the media outlets are. And when you are looking at these media outlets right now showing that BTC is going up, as history has shown again and again, yes, it normally does actually follow. So the way the procedure works with the news and the media outlets for crypto is they announce a price target, or they start announcing bullish or bearish price directions, I guess you could say, depending on how the current price is doing. So they essentially are culture vultures, and they jump on the bandwagon of the most current price momentum and the price direction of the overall market. And what they do is they are technically aiding in a very short-term period the projection of price to continue in the direction they're stating. And what this is doing is this is enticing buyers to either go long, anticipating another bull run, or it's anticipating the bears to continue selling in anticipation of a further drop-off. And what's happening right now is, with all of these bullish articles coming out, I do believe this is more than enough to entice the retail traders, considering the chart has looked like it's bottoms to some extent. And I completely admit that. And I do believe that's going to aid many people to contribute capital to actually aid the surge towards $6,000. However, when you zoom out and you actually look at the overall market direction and the Fibonacci extensions from a weekly perspective on a major swing point, we are still looking at a sub $3,000 BTC break, and I do believe this is very logical and makes more than enough sense, especially throughout the remainder of 2019. And this is something we've covered already, but what's comical to me is the tweets I posted yesterday showing the 2018 articles from August to October in particular. Some of these articles, guys, were absolutely comical. One of the titles from Yahoo Finance: Bitcoin has hit the bottom, why it's unlikely to fall below $6,000. From FX Pro: Bitcoin's bulletproof bottom at $6,000. Bulletproof bottom. I mean, it's buzzwords like these, the same words you see in white papers that can potentially entice people to invest for the wrong reasons. It's the same with the media outlets, and it goes for anything. It's not just cryptocurrency. I mean, it's a very common occurrence when in all honesty, a Muslim commits a potential terror. As you see in the media, they are most likely labeled a terrorist, whereas when it's another ethnicity or religion or whatever it may be, it's more of a mentally insane person, for example. It's just little twists in words and headlines and stuff like that with the media that can completely change not only little impacts in, let's just say, the market or the economy, but the way people view each other, the overall collective consciousness of the world. And this is how the media function. It's something that we as people have to be a bit more prepared to branch out from and understand there may be an underlying agenda with many of these headlines. And again, another one from Crypto Globe, not too significant, but Bitcoin mining costs will see it bottom out at $6,000. And the other one as well, Bitcoin has hit the bottom, why it's unlikely to fall below $6,000. What's ironic is during these levels of the $6,000 floor, price would then shoot up during that period of August to October, and the actual breakout of around November below $6,000. From August to October, BTC would hit $6,000, give or take. The news outlets would then publish an article, bang, it jumps $500 to $1,000, and at one point at the end of, the end of October, it jumped almost $2,000 from the 6K region. But what happened in the overall grand scheme of things when you zoomed out? That so-called bulletproof bottom melted 50% upon breaking, and this is why I do believe this is just the media playing tricks again and again. And when they say that technical analysis or using historical data doesn't really prove anything, they do have a point to some extent when they say that. However, when you combine it with factors like the fundamentals, the news announcements, and any other factor that may influence the cryptocurrency market direction, you actually realize history does repeat itself almost on a weekly and consistent basis. And the media play a huge role in enticing newbies and even, I guess you could say, institutional investors into believing there could be another potential rally or meltdown coming soon. So I do believe with the current news article bias that's occurring, this is going to potentially push BTC to that $6,000 region. But for me, this is just short term. And the overall bias of BTC falling to around $1,200 to $1,300, I still believe is absolutely radical and insane and very, very possible indeed. So I will never wipe that out until we at least see $8,000 broken. So I just wanted to give you guys a more level-headed approach, and hopefully you watch the video as well to see that there is definitely a way for this to unfold in the future and for the, I guess you could say, the near future as well. But that does take me to the news articles overall. Right now, we have been a bit low on actual announcements or anything too significant. And the only thing that's interesting for me right now is the whole theory around the banks and cryptocurrencies once again potentially issuing their own coins. One of Japan's largest banks, they will potentially issue their own cryptocurrency this year. The bank, I believe they're called MUFJ. They are one of the largest. It's the Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group. They're like the 5th largest in the world, or in Japan, whatever it is. They are very significant, and they are a very key player in the banking system. And again, this obviously interlinks with the whole Ripple aspect to some extent as well. But the biggest question is right now is these banks, when they're releasing their own cryptos, and I know we've discussed this, but many people are still scared, and they're all saying the same things. What are the implications for the remainder of the cryptocurrencies trying to target the banking and payment sector? Well, the proof is nothing will really be impacted to some extent, because again, these banks are businesses. We have to remember and instill in our heads the banks are here to make a profit. Why on earth would HSBC use MUFGs, or why would JP Morgan's use Barclays or NatWest? It's like one of those things where we have to realize these banks are in competition with each other. I believe the way this is working is the cryptocurrencies they are potentially issuing or looking to develop are more to actually improve the overall infrastructure of their business and just show they are ahead of the curve. Sorry, the first mistake was a bit later than normal today. I am feeling positive about that. That's a good sign. There may be less to follow. So continuing on, I do believe the banks are kind of competing with each other in a way of showing, guess what? Haha, we have the best technology first. You guys cannot keep up. You cannot catch up with us. And I do believe this is just one of those things where it's like you showing your friend that you have the iPhone before they do, and then they get a bit jealous and they say, well, guess what, I'm going to get the iPhone 12. It's one of those things where it's just a healthy competition, or let's just say Lamborghini release a new supercar, but then Bugatti release an even better one, but then Ferrari produce a similar one. It's a competition between corporations, and all they're really doing right now is just trying to create cryptocurrencies that will impact their own personal infrastructure. These are all going to be in-house developments. They cannot see these branching out. Yes, this may work with their subsidiaries or their potential partners within the same sector, but overall, all you're going to see is potentially a new surge of banks attempting to make their own cryptocurrency. But will this affect the projects who are doing this already? Absolutely not, because you have to realize the projects that have been targeting this actual sector, they have been doing this light years ahead of the banks and governments. And the banks right now and the governments and everyone else, again, we're seeing Christine Lagarde, I don't know how you say her surname, the chief of the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. She is now saying regulation needs to be placed pretty urgently to actually almost halt the innovative effects of cryptocurrency, because as I've been saying before, we're all looking at prices and thinking, oh my god, it's still down, the market's dying, what's happening to the progress? Behind the scenes, the progress, the fundamentals are exploding through the roof, and this is becoming a much bigger threat to the banks and governments and the financial institutions. So again, improvise and adapt. I say this with day trading, I say this with long-term investing, I say this with every single negative or positive scenario in life, and improvise and adapt. It occurs for business. And if you are a bank and you are seeing the International Monetary Fund saying that innovation could potentially cause and disrupt the global economy to some extent because of how disruptive this technology is, there is no wonder banks are now racing to be the first ones to actually implement this technology, not to essentially change the world or get one up on their competitors, but just to survive. This has become a battle of survival versus trying to outdo your competitor. I mean, it's a healthy bit of competition, but right now these banks are just trying to sustain, as although I do not see crypto being the biggest threat to the banking system overall, if this continues excelling at the pace it's growing at, especially without this regulatory barrier right now, then of course the banks are at an ever bigger risk. But in saying that, I want to actually just discuss this podcast in particular on the overall crypto market and the psychology behind it, the current scenarios that are coming into play. It's just confusing investors more than ever. More investors by the day are joining this market. They're seeing these news articles. They're being confused. You're seeing people have made millions, but then you're seeing people have lost millions. And people are wondering right now, how do I actually handle the crypto market? People ask me, how do you invest? How do you handle the crypto market fluctuations? What do you do in your spare time? How do I actually become a crypto investor or trader? And I wanted to just run through some common misconceptions of cryptocurrency. Many people ask me, shall I quit my job? Shall I trade full time? How do I handle the market? How do you prepare to trade? How do you prepare to handle the psychology of the cryptocurrency market? And this kind of is a continuation of the prior podcast with the whole fuck it theory of just not really caring about the crypto market too much. You have to realize, even though this is my full-time living career, this is my life, my soul, the burning fire inside me, I literally live and breathe, I literally sleep cryptocurrencies, but it doesn't mean that it psychologically controls my life. And I think that's so important to take into consideration. It's like when people ask me, shall I quit my day job and just do cryptocurrencies? Absolutely not. I found that some of the most successful Forex, crypto and stock traders, they actually still have a very strong hobby present in their life, or they have a full-time or part-time job. And I think that's so healthy when it comes to trading and investing, because when you are just staring at these charts all day, and the good thing for me is the reason that I can actually remain mentally sane handling these volatile swings is because I also try and take my mind off the other things by just analyzing charts sometimes instead of trading, or actually looking after people in the Telegram and running a business. For me, it takes my mind off the market. Although ironic that I'm in the same sector as my life and soul, I guess you could say, just having something on the side like a little hobby or something to take your mind off the markets can be so impactful to your overall trading and investing success. Because Blockfolio, a great example. When it comes to Blockfolio, I've deleted that app. That app is gone. I do not want to see Blockfolio because I do not need to dwell every single day on my overall balance amount. I do not need to see price fluctuating, because when you understand the long-term goal and what is actually going to be unfolding over time, you realize that in due time, you can check that Blockfolio again, and in due time you can spend that cryptocurrency, and in due time you will have more than enough money from your cryptocurrency investments. If you are, of course, choosing the wise investments with sufficient research, you will not be worrying about these present day moments. But it's the same with all aspects of life, and whether you're trapped in life with a bad paying job, or you may have crippling debt, or you may be going through depression, or any other weird aspects of life that unfortunately occur during this process that we call life, you have to realize that when you just stay in this present moment and just focus on the future, the more you remember that the future is looking bright, you realize that dwelling on the intraday movements, the intraday movements, or even the daily movements of the crypto market, it's only going to impact you more negatively versus positive. And the way I see this is, all of us that are hodling, we're all in this same journey together. Some of us made a lot of money with the prior bull run. Some of us made even more money before that. Some of us simply invested at the all-time highs and we're down. Regardless, everybody is riding. Oh, that was a bad one. Riding. We are all riding the same waves in the cryptocurrency market. Every single time I see BTC go from $5,000 to $5,001, you have to remember we are all invested in pretty much the same projects. We're all invested in the same increments of movements every single day. We are all in synchronization with each other, and that's something that we have to take into consideration. When you tell me things like, shall I quit my day job? Do not be fucking insane. Stick to your day job. You still need that stability where you are invested in a market that's so unstable and so illiquid and so volatile. You still need a certain aspect of stability in your life. Revolving your whole life around the cryptocurrency markets, the forex markets, or even the stock markets is possible. 100%, and I'm not saying it's not impossible, but you want to have that external aspect of your life that keeps you sane, not keeps you insane. The crypto market does that already, but you just need almost a distraction away from the markets. And it goes without saying with even long-term investments, when you're hodling that portfolio, when you're watching every single day, and let's just say you watched BTC drop from 5,000 to 5,000, $4,500. You've just seen a $500 drop. When you're watching that every single day, the psychological aspects and implications are impacting your thought processes. You are potentially thinking, maybe I should sell and get back in. What if I sell now and buy back lower? But then what if price doesn't return lower? You have to realize the goal of cryptocurrency is not to be frequently trying to flip your physical coins. That's what the margin trading aspect is for. And you should always, if you do not have enough spare liquid fiat to invest in a margin trading account, simply take 5 to 15% of your overall physical coins, convert that to fiat, or use it on an exchange to margin trade. However, your overall portfolio should remain solid. Your physical coin should be growing by the week, the day, whatever it is, but you should be focusing on a more longer term perspective. It's amazing how many times I have, for example, placed a trade, and I know it's a bit of a risky trade sometimes, and I know that if I monitor it too much, I'm likely going to get out. However, it's funny because when I used to have a job, like externally, when I used to work in an office, for example, or when I'm simply just busy on a certain day, it's funny how those trades always seem to work out more in my favor when I've come back to the charts after maybe a day or two or a significant amount of hours, and then I've seen that price has nearly hit my stop loss, or it's nearly hit my buy limit or my sell limit, and it just fluctuates up and down. But then overall, after an extended period of time, it always goes to my target. Not always, no one's 100% right, but you get what I mean. It's funny how when you are not focusing on the charts, it tends to unfold better because the emotional attachment is not there. And the more you stare at the charts, even if you're buying physical coins, let's say you want Bitcoin to drop to $4,500 right now, around a $600 drop, and you will then buy more BTC. Well, instead of just staring at the charts all day long, set yourself a buy limit order just above your original projected target, just in case it falls a little short. Remember, we're not here to be greedy. It's like me now. I have a BTC long running, still targeting that $6,000 region. If it spikes to 5,900 and pulls back, I'm getting out. That's it. I'm calling it quits. That's my day done. I will take my profit. And the same occurs for sell limits or buy limits, for example. When you are just actually enjoying life, you do not want to become consumed by the charts. Again, I've said this before. This is why those bankers who earn 20 million a year plus in bonuses and all those wages they get paid from all kinds of crazy theories and reasons. I'm not sure why bankers do get paid so much, but there's a reason many of them still commit suicide. There's a reason many of them still go down dark paths in life and they're not truly happy. And that's because they have become so consumed by the markets, it's essentially become a negative and almost torturous part of their life. And it's like, when I look at the charts now and I look at the upsides and the downsides, the goal isn't to look at these on a yearly perspective or even a few months perspective. The goal is to look at this in 5 years' time. And you actually have to start thinking, if the market is progressing this much now, what is physically going to happen in a decade's time or even just 5 years' time? You have to realize at that point, your worries right now, because let's be honest, many of you are in this market purely for money, and that's completely fine. You should not be ashamed of that. We had all of these issues in 2017, 2018, when the market was rising and it was easy to make money. You would literally go for a toilet and you would come back and suddenly you're $50,000 richer. It was easy back then to say, I'm in it for the technology. This is amazing. Well, now that the technology is thriving and the price is dropping, it's funny how those who were in it for the tech have magically disappeared off the face of the earth. And that's because they have just been so blinded and they were so consumed by money. They did not realize that life can come back to humble you pretty quickly. And for me, it's when you focus on the long-term perspective and you just continue enjoying all aspects of your life. Remember, if you're in a day job right now that you do not like, if you're in a current situation in life you do not like, just remember, it will always change. If you are focused on the long term in a positive manner, your life will eventually unfold in that positive manner. You may want to quit your job now and cut corners, but believe me, when it comes to cutting corners, you will never see the outcome you truly deserve and truly want. When it comes to a job, for example, one of my favorite arguments in crypto, shall I quit my job? Should I quit my job and trade full time and just make a living? No, because if you are applying the principles of dollar cost averaging and long-term investing anyway, if you have been buying and following the principles, especially I've been teaching for around 2-3 years now, if you've been buying from the lows, averaging your buys in, just continuously amassing a hefty portfolio, whether that's 200 XRP, 2 million XRP, or just 1 or 2 Bitcoins, in a matter of 5 years or so, you will not have the worries of a job anymore. I'm not saying that you're going to be insanely wealthy, but many of your life's worries can potentially be unfolded with the right decisions and wise investing. And again, it's not about being greedy. You have to express gratitude and realize where the money is coming in much faster than anywhere else. And you never want to cut ties with your security over a purely high risk volatile asset. It's like now going all in on cryptocurrency. That would be absolutely insane. And again, as I found, the people that actually have a regular job and people that still continue with other aspects of their life and try and maybe run a business or try and make money elsewhere as well, you realize that you will have money coming in securely and steady from one stream of income. And then cryptocurrency should be your secondary income, because even myself, I trade the Forex markets. If I have a bad day in crypto or a bad week, I'll be on the Forex markets making back money. It's always a different way to make money. You cannot rely solely on one stream of income. And again, it does lead to the whole theory of multiple streams of incomes. They say the average millionaire has approximately 7 streams of income. Now, cryptocurrency can provide you what all of those 7 incomes would provide you in a year in a matter of days. However, you cannot stay reliant on that. And that's when it becomes an aspect of gambling versus overall logical thought processes and calculated risk. Life is all about risks. And I've made the majority of my money through taking very significant and very, very large risks, but also precisely calculated in my lifetime. Whenever I take a risk in life, I always understand there will be a significant aspect where it may backfire. That is the whole point of risk. But without risk in life, you are essentially dwelling yourself to just being normal. And nobody in life wants to be normal. And I think this is just something I've been wanting to cover for a while, because again, the reason I even get these topics for the podcast, guys, is because I just go through Instagram, I go through Twitter, or I even check my DMs and stuff, for example, and just kind of gauge the overall market bias and how everybody's feeling right now. And it seems right now everybody's getting a bit too enthusiastic on an upside momentum. They're telling me they want to quit their job. They're telling me they have what did someone say? I think they had like $5 million they wanted to just go and put into the market because they just sold their company. They had 5 million liquid, give or take, whatever the actual figure was, and they wanted to put it all into XRP. And the first thing I said was, are you fucking insane? No, of course you do not do that. You have just built a business from the ground up. I know what it's like to build a business from the ground up. It is not easy. The blood, sweat and tears, pain, sacrifices, all of that cliche stuff is real. And it can significantly have an impact on your overall health and life. And to go through all of that to make that final achievement, your hard-earned money has finally received in your bank account, and all you want to do is just flip it and reinvest it. There's risk, there's calculated risk, and then there's absolute insanity. And that is something for me that should always be taken into account. You should never go overboard with the risk. You should never get too ahead of yourself. You should never try and look for something as a way out. No market, no job, no career should be a way out. The way out comes from you being internally happy. And if you are looking at the crypto market, as a way out, you will be extremely disappointed when you are having to rely on the market every single day to just continuously going up and up and up, when in reality, it will not. It will come down significantly just as it will go up significantly. And we can see some parabolic bull runs, but we can also see some parabolic meltdowns as well. So I just wanted to kind of share the overall gist of this podcast and keep it nice and brief, but also keep it simplistic enough that you guys understand that no matter where you are in life right now, if you want to quit your job and stuff, do not use crypto as a means of an escape. You need to use crypto as a means of education. This is not just educational, this is a life lesson. This is character building. No sane person can physically sit through a market which, let me just go to CoinMarketCap to make this even easier. I mean, right now, Binance Coin is up 5.38%. Tezos is up 10%. There are some cryptos, if I change the 24-hour gain, let's go to view all. And obviously we have some shit coins involved in the market as well. Some of these coins, if I go to the view all on CoinMarketCap and switch to the 24-hour percentage gain, once this hopefully loads and converts, there are unfortunately a huge amount of cryptocurrencies in the market right now. And I do actually suggest it's quite amusing. If you go on CoinMarketCap and press view all, you will see some pretty significant numbers. And again, looking at this one now, there is a crypto which is currently Diet Bitcoin. Diet Bitcoin, it's actually called Diet Bitcoin. It's 1,799th in the cryptocurrencies market cap. In the past 24 hours, this crypto has risen 2,247%. Bunny Coin coming in just below. Bunny Coin, I can't even take this seriously anymore. Bunny Coin, which is currently ranked 1,263 in the market cap, has risen 436% today, with an overall volume of 24-hour volume of $18. Halloween Coin has also risen 200% with an average 24-hour volume of $30,645. I mean, you cannot get more pump and dumps than this market, and you cannot get more excitement coming from this market. And the average person, to see such significant numbers that would take decades to achieve with the likes of mutual funds, pensions, just ISAs, all of these secure, old school, old money methods of making money, this is absolute insanity. And to actually ride through these market waves and keep a logical, level-headed approach to life overall, you have to realize this isn't just like about making money and becoming good at this industry. This is actually shaping you as people. And I cannot thank the crypto market enough for all of the educational lessons it has provided me throughout life. It's taught me so much about markets, myself, and every single day, I am learning new things from the market, whether it's volatile spikes, manipulation, how the world works, how the elite work, how manipulation works, how even markets work overall, and financial systems and payments and technology. Like, who would have thought just 10 or 15 years ago, all of us would have an understanding on such a complex topic? I mean, this could literally branch out to potential jobs for you guys in the future. You could become traders, you could become blockchain analysts, or anything. Like, anything is possible, and you have delved into a new exciting market. The way I see this is, even putting the price and making money aside, even being involved in these markets now, when you consider that crypto is revolutionary and impactful, and it could potentially disrupt the entire world as we know it in terms of businesses and payments and every other aspects that can be covered, from cloud computing to gaming, when you think that you have been one of the people that have been there since the beginning, and how this could become a major part of society in a matter of just a decade, then you consider who was involved in the internet in the early days, and how a mass opportunity provided those who got involved in the internet in the early days. I see crypto as exactly the same, and I think many people need to realize that beyond just price, there are opportunities, there are life lessons to be learnt, and there is gratitude to be expressed because you are part of one of the most exciting revolutionary concepts in the world. The world has never seen anything really like this, and as much as there has been prior attempts to make digital coins before Bitcoin, I've never seen blockchain or any technology thrive like this since the internet was first initiated that has made an impact like cryptocurrency. So I'm going to end this podcast on a note where I think it's fairly positive to say that you are part of a very exciting time, and you are part of a movement that could potentially create a new career for you anyway. I mean, if people are always asking me, should I quit my job? Should I just go full-time trading? There will be no need to in a matter of 5 to 10 years, because number one, if we are actually going to see a new one world currency, which is cryptocurrency, and if we are going to see regulation coming forward as quick as the IMF are now planning to do so, that just means the quicker regulation comes, the quicker cryptocurrency becomes implemented in society, and the quicker your life changes. And remember the wealth gap shift as well. If cryptocurrency can attain a massive value, and I argued this in the prior podcast as well, actually, I said that if we are not utilizing these cryptocurrencies ourselves, then how can we expect mass adoption to happen? But then it clicked. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe that isn't the truth. Maybe crypto does need to be significant. Maybe BTC does need to be a $250,000 per Bitcoin. Maybe XRP does need to be $100 to $500, because that way everybody will find it safer to spend their crypto. Because the more I think about it now, who in their right mind would actually buy crypto just to spend it, knowing that every second is crucial and could provide a significant return on investment? However, when cryptocurrencies are at a price point where they are so significantly high that it's almost impossible to actually just buy one single token, that is when spending it becomes, I guess you could say, easy and carefree. It's the same way I still view crypto now. Like when for example, if I dip into my portfolio of XRP or whatever crypto it may be, and I touch a few $100s, it's almost like internet money to me. It doesn't seem real. Now imagine a future where the cryptocurrencies you're holding, let's just say you're holding 5 Bitcoin, and Bitcoin becomes worth $500,000 per Bitcoin. Now I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I'm saying in a realistic and fairly logical world where the markets are not logical anyway, but I mean, let's just say BTC hits that kind of valuation. Spending 0.02 BTC is not going to impact your life, and maybe that's what it's going to take for real world adoption to actually occur. So guys, I'm going to leave you on that thought-provoking note. I am hoping this has been yet another fairly insightful and just a different approach to the average cryptocurrency material out there. I think the goal for me is to expand beyond just cryptocurrency, because everybody can just sit here all day and talk about news, but I want to incorporate cryptocurrency in a different aspects in your life. I want you guys to view it as an actual revolutionary, life-changing, and I guess you could say just global impacting revolution. I've pretty much ran out of words for it, but I mean, you just have to realize that this is one of those things that can change absolutely everything, and it's more than just the price volatility or waiting for the next bull run, because when the next bull run comes, many of us have already agreed and understood and accepted it is going to come in due time. But waiting for it isn't going to do anything for your life. You should still be focusing on other aspects. You should be focusing on new projects, how to invest in different cryptos. You should be investing in dollar cost averaging your cryptos. You need to realize that the longer the bull run takes, the more beneficial it is for yourself anyway. And this is one of my most important topics to end on. The longer the bull run takes, the more you guys benefit. And you have to realize that instant gratification will never outweigh long-term patience and gratitude. So that is the note I will leave you on. I hope you have enjoyed episode 5 of the Crypto Wizard podcast, and I cannot wait for next week's already. Guys, have a great weekend. I'll see you on Wizard Wednesdays as well, and I will be seeing you in the Telegram very shortly with hopefully more market updates and hopefully a BTC breakout to $6,000. So fingers crossed, it could be a very good week for us with the coming week ahead. Guys, have a great weekend.